Turn actors' fears into performance cheers. Today's topic reflects major concerns actors have often expressed about their careers. There are two areas. One is job stability, and the other, financial security. Actors frequently face uncertainty in finding consistent work, leading to concerns about income and maintaining financial stability between roles. In this episode, we'll cover ways to manage periods of unemployment, the importance of side gigs, and long-term financial planning. Hang in there, it's going to be okay. I'm Jeffrey Dreisbach, and this is Casting Actors Cast.
This is Casting Actors Cast. Jeffrey Dreisbach brings you insights and inspiration. Make a difference in your acting and your acting career. Here's Jeffrey Dreisbach.
Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of Casting Actors Cast. I'm a casting partner with Pat McCorkle at the McCorkle Group in New York. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. I'm having a good day and looking forward to sharing this topic with you. It's been something that I've had on my mind for quite some time now. But first, this is that moment of the podcast conversation that I get to say thank you so much for joining me. I invite you to check out the website, castingactorscast, all one word.com, castingactorscast.com. If you do that, you're going to find all kinds of what I believe is really useful and helpful and positive information on the website. You're going to find a form that says dive into the talent pool. It gives me your name and your email address, but what I give you is a free book on doing voiceover work called Conversation Pieces Out of the Studio. Also, for free, there is a 20-minute video called Casting Secrets, What They Don't Tell You. Also, on the website, there's a class that I'm teaching called The Art of the Audition through Creative Coaching Partners. Also, my new book released in August, and I'm so excited about this. It's called Jeff's Jots, The Actor's Career Playbook on Amazon.com. And there's a link there. It's in hardcover, softcover. You can do the ebook if you like. I'm actually working on putting together the audiobook. So I'll be narrating the audiobook, but it's a tedious process, I have to say. A little more involved than I thought, but I got some upgraded equipment, and I'm trying to make it happen to the best of my ability. Also, finally, I just want to say, please check out the YouTube channel if you haven't done so. You can see me actually doing these podcasts on video. But also, it would mean the world to me. If you get anything out of the work that I've been doing for the past 6 years here on the podcast, it would be so appreciated if you would consider giving me a like, a thumbs up, a review, especially on iTunes, because, that's sort of the holy grail of getting good reviews on it. I would appreciate that so much. Anyway, I think that's all the stuff I need to get out of the way in the moment. So let's just jump into this subject. It's about the concerns actors have. And I've heard this many, many times from professionals who've been doing it for a while, as well as young students in classes. I did a brief kind of calculation. I've taught over 1,000 workshops with actors at universities and in New York, and showcases and things like that for the past several years. And the question seems to be very, very common and very, very similar. And this is the concern. It really is that actors, they often struggle with the uncertainty of when their next job will come. Now, this inconsistency can make it really hard to feel financially secure. Where's your next gig coming from? Now, the thing I think is important here is to embrace the reality that that is part of the job of being an actor. I know that's, not necessarily a great consolation, but really understanding that this is something that everybody goes through at one point or another. But I also think there's value in me suggesting some solutions. So here they are. Think of yourself not just as an artist, but also as a small business. Really, you are the CEO of your own company. And so all of the things that anybody in a startup business, if you're just starting, or anybody really considering to taking their careers to the next level, have to treat themselves and their creativity as a business. And putting that hat on, so to speak, is really a healthy approach. See, I believe that actors in training spend a lot of time learning the craft of acting. You know what? That's awesome. That's great. But here's the thing. So little time is spent on the business side of things that it really is like hurry up to get to the information that you need to run your own business. And then you need a crash course. And then there's a set of panic that sets in. But just approaching your craft, your artistry as a business is a good idea. For example, maybe you should consider having an LLC. Any money that you bring in as an actor could go into a limited liability corporation. Now, I don't want to get into all the details of that, but many actors incorporate themselves. In that way, that helps them think of how they are allocating their funds for their business, but it's also great for tax and financial planning, by the way, just a secondary thought. But all of those things that you have to maintain as an actor, your picture, resume, putting reels together, all of that stuff would benefit through the lens of being a business and not just putting down the credit card, really taking a look at how much you're spending, how much you're bringing in. Now let's move away from there. Here's another hopeful suggestion. I think this is hopeful and helpful, rather. I think you need to diversify your income streams. What I mean by that is if your acting hasn't been paying the bills right now, find flexible side gigs that won't drain your creative energy but keeps you afloat with those bills, those financial obligations. Now, I know that that's hard. And of course, the danger that I've seen happen a lot of times is that actors will get themselves involved in being a waiter or being a bartender. But you know what? Being a bartender is a lot of work. And if you're closing up the bar at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be really challenging for you to get up early to be there for that audition, to be motivated. And too many times I see actors just becoming less and less motivated in their acting dreams and their acting attitudes and end up being sort of working for survival. Now, I know that this is really challenging, but I would submit to you that if you're finding yourself in that sort of cyclical challenge, you might want to reevaluate some of those side gigs that can keep you afloat. And I've mentioned this before in previous podcasts, but I will just go over, I know that there's some really successful dog walkers who do really well, and they can sort of choose their own category. If you're a nanny, if you can find work in a very disciplined period of time that you can put some bucks in the bank, but yet know that there are other times in the day that you can devote to your acting work, that kind of thing. So it's really just about the structure, I think, that can be really, really helpful. That can be valuable. I think here's another one. I think it's really a cool idea to start. Maybe you could teach acting classes. Maybe you could offer yourself for voiceover work for somebody who might benefit from that. Or even tapping into freelance gigs can help. There are many actors who freelance as art directors, designers, there was one, I'm trying to remember exactly what the details were, but this particular actor did the window dressings at Macy's. What a cool job that would be. So I think that budgeting yourself for your career, sort of having that business head that I just talked about, budgeting is your best friend. If you're planning for slow periods when things are good, you know what? That gives you peace of mind when the jobs aren't flowing. So if you can treat those dry spells as an opportunity to invest in yourself, then you're on the right track. What I mean by that, take classes, develop new skills, even consider writing your own content. It's about staying front-footed. It's about moving forward into the career that you are looking for. The next thing I need to talk about here, and these are fears that actors have, is limited roles and career growth. See, many actors worry about being thought of only for certain roles, unable to show you their versatility and their career progression. Now, this can involve discussing strategies for diversifying one's acting portfolio and breaking free from repetitive roles. I'm not using the word typecasting. I'm talking about getting stuck in the same type of role over and over. That can make actors feel trapped in a particular mold that you're being categorized in only one way. Again, I don't use the word. I don't like the word. I think that this limits growth and the ability to show range. You're an actor. So if you find that your agent or your rep, or you're only getting hired as the cop or the lawyer or the doctor or the drug addict, whatever it is that you might be getting gigs for or interest in, there are some solutions to consider. First off, I think it's important to embrace that the roles you are playing are there because you do something really, really well. There's something about your energy, your frame of mind, and your acting ability that make you an attractive candidate for those roles. So please don't just kind of dismiss what you are doing. Now listen, if you're itching to break out of that box, I think there's value in being proactive. Here's an example. Use independent projects, student films, or theater productions that you think of as a playground to experiment with new roles. There's no reason why you couldn't get into a community theater production just to stretch that muscle a little bit. Also, I mentioned this earlier, but creating your own content. It's easier now than ever to make short films or web series that show off your acting versatility. Also, consider assembling a show reel. I'm not talking about demo reel, I'm talking about a show reel. But a show reel is something that you can put together that reflects the kind of roles you want. Not just a demo reel which shows the roles you've already played. So that might be of value as you think about where you are in your career and if there's a level of frustration or fear that you might be cast the same way over and over and over again. Remember that your brand is always evolving. It's totally fine to be known for something specific. Believe me, as a casting person, when I think of a person, I think of the last thing I might have cast them in. That's human. That's a human nature. But it is valuable for me to see some versatility in those actors so that I might be able to think of them for other things. But you have to be somewhat in control of showing the versatility. Just keep pushing the boundaries in how you present yourself and the projects you pursue. I've got a really cool next section coming up. Stay with me, please, right after this message.
Are you wishing for acting success? Are you ready with audition techniques for theater, film, and television? Are you ready with proven methods for growing your talent? Are you ready to boost your business? It would help if you had a playbook to guide you. Now, there's Jeff's Jots, the Actor's Career Playbook by Jeffrey Dreisbach. Jeff's Jots at Amazon.com, CastingActorsCast.com, available in paperback, hardcover, or ebook. Stop wishing and start doing with Jeff's Jots, the Actor's Career Playbook.
Welcome back. Thanks for hanging in there. The next area that we need to talk about, the fears that actors have, and we need to turn those actor fears into performance cheers, and that is the subject of mental health and rejection. Listen, we both know the acting profession is often filled with intense competition and frequent rejection, which often just leads to anxiety, stress, self-doubt, depression. Addressing how you maintain resilience, manage your mental health, and build confidence in such a demanding industry, this is key to your concern about your own mental health. Rejection is a huge part of an actor's life, but it can take its toll on your mental health. Facing constant competition and self-doubt, let me just tell you, we all know this is draining. So here are some solutions that I would really, really like you to consider if you find yourself in this competitive, stressed mindset, that area of being an actor that we can really do some damage to ourselves with. So here are some solutions. First, I think it's important to know that rejection isn't personal. I know that's kind of hard. Take it from somebody who always personalized the rejection. As an actor, I always felt that I was only successful if I was a working actor. And so that means, if you think about it, that anytime I wasn't actually acting in a job, I was not successful. So that was the mindset that I had. But once I understood that it wasn't personal, it's just part of the game, it's just part of being an actor. The producer is looking for an orange and you're an apple. That doesn't make your apple any less interesting. So embracing that reality and replacing it from your own personal investment in it, I think is really healthy. And you can do that by building a support system of fellow actors who understand what you're going through. Sometimes just talking to someone who gets it can make all the difference. Also, again, something I think I've mentioned many, many times, but the value of it is absolutely clear, is to develop a routine that keeps you grounded. Whether it's, journaling, meditating, exercising, or just simply practicing mindfulness is a really excellent tool to keep you in a solid place of security, of knowing that this is just part of the job and not necessarily investing in the pain. Being victimized by your acting and your acting career is just a song that I promise you don't want to sing. And another way to help you with that is to simply set goals outside of acting. I think that really helps too. Focus on things like those things you can control, improving your craft or learning a new skill, doing something different. And finally, I just want to say, please don't be afraid of seeking professional help if needed. Therapy or working with a coach to build your resilience and self-confidence, I think that's an investment in both your mental health and your career. You're not alone in this journey, and awareness of that makes, I think, a big difference. And I've said this before, and I don't know if this exists as much as it did when I was acting, but there seemed to be a shame factor. Oh, you need to go to a therapist. You know what? That's just bullshit. I would not ever think that is a weakness on anybody's part. I mean it. I think every actor should have a level of therapy. Whatever the type of therapy, it doesn't matter to me, whether it's group therapy or it's one-on-one therapy or whatever type of therapy it is. I think there's tremendous value in that self-discovery. It'll open up channels of your own creativity. It'll help you in developing your character when you are booking jobs. So really, it's all about a systematic approach to the work. It's a systematic approach to how you view yourself as a professional actor. Got a little preachy there at the end, but what can I say? I hope it's been helpful. That's all I'm doing here is trying to elicit some positive, helpful, motivational, I hope, responses to some of the things that we can beat ourselves up over very, very easily. Don't do that to yourself. You're worth it. And I hope that you consider coming back to the next episode of Casting Actors Cast. Thanks so much.